Welcome to a DropTent Media production.
Hey, welcome to the Weekday Comics. I'm Dave Permiano.
And I'm Dan DeBriel, and we're here to shoot the shit and talk the news. Hey.
That seamless.
Seamless this time. When we have the headphones on, we actually know when the sound effects are happening and when they end and when they begin.
Sloppy, awesome. By the way. Sloppy transition.
It's okay. We're just excited to listen. We never actually have the headphones on. We only really throw them on when we have a Skype guest, and we do have a guest who lives so far away now that she had to connect with us remotely.
I had no idea, by the way. This is another edition of Dave Doesn't Know People's Lives.
Well, for our viewers, our guest today, she competed in the finals of Philly's Funniest, which is like the preeminent comedy competition in Philadelphia. She made it all the way to the finals. I believe she was the only woman that competed in the finals. Unfortunately, you were robbed, but I will introduce the very, very funny our friend Elyssa Penson. Everybody, hi, Elyssa.
Hey, yeah, I was one of two women.
Oh, it was one of two. Okay, yeah, and it was rigged. The whole thing was rigged.
It's erasure, Dan. That's erasure.
They picked the like doodliest looking guy on the thing. It was between Naeem and Connor, and they picked Connor. You know, he's very funny. So everybody on the finals was funny, but I was rooting for you, Elyssa.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, you're a friend of the show, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
you are. The open mic comics, like everyone's little sister at the open mics. We were all rooting for you out in the suburbs to take it into the city and take the big win. But you made it to the finals, which is pretty impressive.
Although I have to ask, did you have Boston residence while you were competing in Philly's Funniest?
Not when I signed up.
I guess that counts, right?
Yeah.
That's probably why they didn't let her win, though, I'm guessing.
Right. They were tipped off that you had changed locations, and they said, we can't give it to you, unfortunately. Because you're now Boston's Funniest. Or perhaps. Are you doing comedy up there?
I'm trying to. Work in progress.
The move is fresh, right? You just got up there, pretty much?
Yeah.
That's cool. You moved up with your partner, who's also a comedian. Is that right?
Yeah, John Mann.
That's right. Yeah, John's awesome. I think he's great too. Really sweet guy. Really funny. That's fun. Two comics moving to like a known comedy city together. Did you guys talk about maybe pursuing comedy while you were up there?
Well, he's from here, so he tried it, and then he warned me that it's difficult. And then I was like, oh, let's try again.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't think that any scene can be as difficult as some of the open mics that we have hung out at.
I mean, I don't know him personally, but you don't need comedy. Like you can exist in natural society, unlike the rest of us, right? But
I honestly don't know.
You've been doing it for so long now, right? It can be weird to think about what you would do if you stopped doing comedy.
Well, I don't know this John. So I'm guessing he's similar to he's probably got like a good head on his shoulders type. He's not like your normal Delaware trash.
He's not an Otis Timlin or something like that. No, he's a very nice guy.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's the responsible one.
He is.
You're the wild child of the relationship, right?
Yeah.
That's funny. Your comedy is very unique, especially out where you're doing it, where you're doing like a very you're yourself, but you're like very quiet. A lot quieter than most comics. Certainly not comics like Dave and I, who will just up the volume and aggressiveness of our acts as needed. We'll antagonize the crowd if we need to. You're very, not in the Stephen Wright way, but like Stephen Wright in the way that like you approach with this very calm character, this calm demeanor, and I don't know. I didn't see the finals, missed it at Philly's Funniest, but I imagine like you were great compared to a lot of these loud comics, like friend of the show Naeem Ali, very loud, boisterous guy, very funny. But I think like you come in there and a lot of those things and on shows that I've seen you on, and you kind of like wow audiences because they're like, oh, this quiet little girl is up now, and then you like destroy them with the most brilliant like comedy about like how you were raised and how you grew up and everything like that. It's really fun to see.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yep. Practice.
I prefer comedy, but
No, it's because that was like when I first when I first time I saw you, I fucking loved the writing right off the bat,
Yes.
and I was just like, wow, when she finds her like stage voice, she's going to be a force to reckon with up there. And then I didn't see Philly's Funniest, but I kept seeing you advance through the rankings, and I'm like, well, she found it in that time. And I swelled with pride.
I brag about you guys a lot because like people here, like the main trait is that they're afraid to like tell it like it is, and nobody in Philly is afraid to tell it like it is.
No, we definitely are not. We don't care.
I mean, I think you're in the wrong section of Boston then. I'm sure.
Too close to Cambridge.
Yeah, right. It depends on if you're the Ivy League side of Boston or the what are the other sides?
Yeah,
How do you like them?
Southie? Southie.
Yeah, Southie.
Every Matt Damon character.
Yeah, basically Casey Affleck. Every Casey Affleck or Matt Damon persona.
They tell it like it is. Yeah.
Do you find and when you're in Boston, do you find people that have like that super thick Boston accent, like the insanely crazy ones, or is that kind of like dying out a little?
I think like by Fenway and like South Boston, yeah. But I feel like there are like a lot of people who like really like made it in comedy already, and they're like doing a lot of shows and stuff. And then you have like college kids who don't really have Boston accents. So I was expecting to see it a lot more.
Yeah. I remember the last time I went to Boston, I was like just doing tourist stuff, and I was shocked that I was like, I haven't heard one real like packed a cat like in a whole weekend. And I remember talking to a waiter about it, or a bartender, and he like turned it on, and he was like, well, you got to go out to the yard. And I was like, oh, okay. You guys just code switch when you're talking to people that obviously aren't from Boston. So I wanted to see if like when you live there, they let that slip more. They start cheersing it up a little.
Good on them. It's a terrible accent.
Yeah. Oh, it's gross.
It
yeah.
needs to be scrubbed from the earth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so does the Philly.
Yeah, I mean
And
the
fucking-
Delco,
yeah,
the Delco trash accent, like people can't code switch. Like you can hear Delco in someone's voice no matter how hard they try to get away from it. It's like
true.
Tina Fey, she went to like voice acting classes. You can hear that shit.
Is that where you're originally from? You're from this area, right? Originally?
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry. It's hard to tell who I'm looking at.
And
right?
yeah, he doesn't care where I'm from.
Yeah,
he sees me every week.
I'm sure I've heard it before.
Yeah.
wait, so me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm from Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. A Yinzer.
Do they have an accent?
Yeah,
Oh.
a little bit. I can't do it, but when I'm around it, I can hear it a lot more. But yeah, they have an accent. It's a bad one.
They're all
Diet
bad.
Ohio. No offense.
Think of Mac Miller, but less weed.
Okay.
Now that's a celebrity of some sort.
Mac Miller, he was a rapper. Do you know him? All right, well,
Jesus.
he's dead anyway. There's nothing to catch up on. He died a while ago. You have just missed the entire Mac Miller era.
Is he from after 1996?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's why I've never heard of him. I mean, I've heard of him, but okay.
All right.
That's a white rapper?
Yes,
right?
he is a white rapper. A white rapper from Pittsburgh. It was him and what's his face? The guy that went black and yellow. That guy. I forget his name.
I've heard
Wiz
that
Khalifa.
song.
They were like famous together, but
How did this guy die?
drugs. I think. Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Like so many young men in Pittsburgh. You know?
Good on you for making it out of that.
That's right. Yeah, like so many Pittsburgh residents, you live somewhere else in the world. That's another fact about
That meth
Pittsburgh.
hole. Yeah.
Yeah, they all leave.
It's
Hey, there we go. We don't. Sorry, Elyssa. We don't ask direct questions so much as we talk. Right? It can be kind of disorienting on Skype. So thanks for hanging in there with us. We try to talk about the news. We do have a big week here. Elyssa, I have to ask you: have you seen? I don't know how political you really are, but have you seen this thing that's going on with Lauren Boebert, with her getting kicked out of the Beetlejuice musical?
No.
Okay, it's all Dave and I could talk about all week.
Yeah.
Dave, you want to explain to Elyssa and our audience what happened?
Well, the initial report was that she was kicked out because she was singing along loudly with the Beetlejuice musical.
Who wouldn't?
I mean, because the original's not a musical, so I don't think it's music that we all just know off the fucking top of our head.
That is true.
And she was vaping, and then a video came out of her and her date getting pretty handsy with each other.
Yeah. Like really grabby, like third base grabby.
Yeah.
So it was graphic, Elyssa. Don't watch it. You don't want to see what we've seen. It's gross.
It's not gross at all. It's beautiful. No, it's a work of art.
It's just two people loving each other in the back of a musical.
Yeah, the real outrage should be that it cut off when it did. But
So that's why she got kicked out.
She got kicked out for being loud, and I think she was vaping, and then she was giving like a little hand action to her date, which is crazy. It's insane, and she's just going back into work the next day in Congress. It's wonderful.
Oh, Neil's
pulling it up here.
Yeah, there's a little bit of vaping in the old. This is Beetlejuice is sad. This is sad Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's what Beetlejuice looked like.
Of course, Beetlejuice would be sad.
Naturally. And then I guess I can't find any of the handsiness.
Well, that's okay. You got to go on to the deep web.
Yeah, it's got to be on the deep web.
That.
That's definitely her vape.
I found enough for the four of us. But no.
I can't believe this. This is what an incredible story. It really fits the times that we're in. I found that I heard that the guy that she was doing it with is a Democrat that owns a bar, and the bar hosts drag shows.
That is true.
Which is incredible. Like, people are saying like he's a hypocrite for hooking up with Lauren Boebert. I think he's a hero. I think his dick is taking down a House of Representatives member that sucks.
Except she didn't quit.
I know, but like she might lose now because this could be like the tip that like she was like I think she gets like small margins of victory in her district. So maybe this will tip the scales and maybe his dick will take her down. You know what I mean?
Not according to Twitter. Everyone's she stays until Biden goes for putting his hand on a little girl's shoulder.
That's very different things there.
Not to them.
Yeah, no, not to them. But yeah, I think that this guy's a hero, though. I think that more people should be doing this. Like, more people should be trying to, like, fight back.
Lauren Boebert?
No. Fight back against, the far-right Republicans with their genitals.
You were saying?
Alyssa.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Dave doesn't use anyone's names. He's like, "Well, what's you? They're there with your
Dave
face."
just assumes that you can see him.
If I'm looking up, it means I'm looking up at a screen.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
That more Democrats should expose right-wing politicians.
Right? They should use sex to do it. I mean, well, if that's the way that they can do it. You know what I mean?
Drag
They're too
shows.
prude. Yeah, and drag shows. Like, I imagine this guy's going to go to his next drag show and they're going to, like, carry him, like, on their broad shoulders.
We've got a real birdcage situation going on here.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
This is a modern take on the birdcage.
You're absolutely right.
Alyssa, do you know the Birdcage, the movie?
That's from the 90s. You might not
You don't
have
know,
been around.
but it is very applicable to today. So
Yeah.
you should check it
Yeah.
out. It's very, very funny. Nathan Lane, Robin
It
Williams.
stars my dead white guy, Robin Williams.
I know. Your favorite dead white guy. But yeah, I mean,
It's a great movie.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so...
You don't
It's a great movie.
You don't think that some far right extremist like her getting with like a Democrat drag show runner doesn't just prove that all of politics is theater and that these people on both sides of the aisle are really just friends with each other and they probably laugh at all the idiots out there that make their politics their personality?
Yeah, a lot of them. I think that some people really believe it either way. But yes, I think a lot of them are just straight up like this. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Of course.
Her and AOC probably have fucking girls' night or whatever.
Also, you don't usually do too much political stuff that I can think of. But I've heard you tackle some stuff like at when I get to see you kind of running stuff. Have you been doing more political stuff or finding stuff funny in that at all?
Well, I feel like when people see me, they expect me to like take a very liberal take, and then I do take a very liberal take. So there's just no surprise.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair, and it's divisive. Who needs it, right?
It's tricky. It's tricky to be political. Some people can get away with it. It's like one of those things that about comedy that you can't explain why some people can get up and be political and be funny and people will accept it from them. Yeah. And then some people, they just can't. And I have not been able to figure out what the rules are related to that. I know that I cannot. Like, I have to really trick audiences into listening to politics if I want to talk about it.
That's fair. I mean, I really don't know it. Like, the only reason I know anything, if there was no hand jobs involved, that's how you, yeah, that's what perks me up. Like, I gotta start fucking paying attention to politics if this is what's going on.
I love that it happened to the Beetlejuice musical. I don't know about the musical version of Beetlejuice, but that is one of my favorite movies. And I just like the idea that someone got an over the pants hand job to Harry Belafonte.
Yeah.
Have you seen Beetlejuice? No, that's an old one too.
I've seen parts of it.
Okay.
Parts of it. Okay.
Wait, the movie or the theatrical play?
The movie.
The movie.
Okay.
She's only seen parts.
She's only seen
parts of a play.
I don't know. Yeah,
well, listen, Dave, her boyfriend doesn't finish, so he only makes it to the first act.
Some people have walked out at intermission because they didn't know it was intermission. They thought it was the end.
Wow,
that actually happened to a friend of mine. Yeah,
your friend walked out during intermission.
A friend of mine gave tickets as a gift. Elyssa, right? He gave it as a gift, and these people had never been to a theatrical play before. They go to the play and they're just like, "Yeah, weird ending. It's much shorter than I thought." And they're like, "What are you talking about? When did you leave?" And they're like, "That was the middle. That was like the intermission part." And they're like, "Oh, we didn't know." It was delightful. I come from smart people.
I thought it was weird that they only said Beetlejuice twice. They were talking about how big of a deal it is if you say it 3 times. Never hit that third time.
Rent just ends with all of them are just having AIDS, and that's it. It's just the beginning.
I mean, wait, that's not the end of Rent?
I guess that is the end of Rent, but like no further arc on the characters.
You missed the whole AIDS act.
Yeah,
Act 3.
You big into musicals, Elyssa?
I think the only one that I've seen is Shrek the Musical.
Hell yeah.
And it's exactly like the movie.
Yeah, and if you walk out halfway, they're still in the swamp. You have no idea what's going on, right? It sucks.
Well, I guess Alyssa's talked about, especially from stage, what she's interested in. And I think it's funny because she always pairs it a lot with dating. Like what her interests are, if you've heard the bits, are like, I'm interested in this. And you know how guys like that, right? But I like that. I like coming from that dating perspective of but yeah, now you're off the market, right? So it's done. You're right. It's all finished. Right? You're dead.
Are you having some relationship problems?
No more joke.
Neil?
But I was gonna say,
all over for you.
Well, no. Are you finding now that like you're writing from that place where you're like, oh, I'm in a relationship now, and you're writing stuff that way?
I have not written any jokes about our relationship.
Okay.
Is that a rule you got?
So hard.
Yeah, gets us into. They're both comics, so is that like you guys set up any things, or you just both were like, oh, we don't really talk about it?
Well, he won't talk about it because he doesn't want to hurt my feelings, and I won't talk about it because I don't have any good jokes about it yet.
All good. Yeah.
So he hasn't shown you any flaws yet. Is that a way to keep him on his best behavior?
Dave, is that how you relate? Is that how you relate to all that? He's hiding his flaws. He hadn't written a joke, so it isn't that he's like.
I don't know how to relate to that. I only have flaws.
Yeah.
I'm a blank slate if I have no flaws. But you don't worry about neither of you worry about you doing something stupid in front of the other one and that ending up in the act.
I mean, I constantly worry about that. I mean, I've had so many embarrassing things happen at my grandparents' house that I'm surprised have not made it into my boyfriend's set.
Dish.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
what?
let's hear.
what?
Let's hear.
Let's-
Yeah, get
No.
the jump.
Never mind.
It's called owning it. That means you get to have it before he. Yeah,
So this is a live
that's
podcast,
beating him
so.
to the punch. So what happened at Grandma and Grandpa's?
Family, I think. Yeah, I know. She's
No,
okay.
we're not trying to put anybody on the spot here. We do that enough with our friends who have problems with burlesque girls. But that is really funny. I had that for a very long time with my exes. When they were dating them, they would be like, "Oh my god," they would do something slightly embarrassing. They'd be like, "Oh my god, you're gonna put this in a joke," and it's like, there's literally no way to put dropping a dozen eggs, like, that's not a joke. Like, it might be embarrassing, but it's not a joke. But I would be terrified, and I've never dated a comedian, and I mean, if I was single, I never would, because because of that. I'd be terrified of, like, the comic would be the person who would be able to find the great fucking bit, like, about something I did.
I don't want to date anyone in any artistic field.
Right.
Honestly, I don't want any doodles of me. I don't want any prompts I have to be turned into poetry.
Yeah.
I got
no.
I got to cover all the bases.
Yeah.
Just David Cubism. Like, he hates it as well.
Just,
I mean, there is one embarrassing joke my boyfriend has, but it's not real. But it's embarrassing because people think it's real.
oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah, what is that? What is that joke?
So he's disabled, and his like joke is that it's his dream to have sex in a handicapped bathroom.
That's a good joke.
And then people just stare at me the entire joke.
Like, you gonna help with that, or what are we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, guys.
well,
Come on.
do either of you like talk about previous relationships and then you just want to update it so you kind of just tag on another person's story to the current relationship? Is
What do you
anyone-
mean, like an old
have-
story?
like if you want, you know how like
jokes.
yeah, like comedies like, oh, the other day, when it's really something that happened 9 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to keep it fresh. Your ex did something embarrassing, but you want to make it like, hey, it's about something that happened recently. So you just pin your ex's story on your current partner.
This is why Dave is. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Dave is hitting on exactly the things. He's got methods. He's got
That's
ideas
strange.
around it.
I would not make something my ex did and give it to my girlfriend in a story, because I feel like that might hurt her feelings, or it wouldn't be true. I will make things up about my girlfriend, but I do check with her. I'm like, is it okay that I make up that I said you did this or whatever? And but it's always minor things like well, I don't want to talk about, but like small things like, okay, I'm gonna say I found this thing in your bedroom instead of like specifically this thing or something like that. But like, I'll run it by her. If it's an ex, all of my exes for that purpose are an amorphous sort of ex blob. So like if I want to talk about like my ex who was covered in tattoos, that joke is actually about like 3 different women, but I'll give it to one person in the joke, because what's the point of being that
Yeah.
fidelitous to the truth? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I have the joke about that guy in Delaware that wanted to rape me. And it was really an amalgamation of 2 guys in Delaware that wanted to rape me. I'm not bragging. Neither of them are anything to write home about.
Well, okay.
Why couldn't I have a quality rapist?
Yeah, it's
You know what? It's a compliment that they had the initiative.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah. You know, maybe with this, we'll get some viewers, and like the average attractiveness rating of your rapist.
So far,
will
the
rise.
only comments have threatened to rape my wife, which thank God I don't have one.
Yeah. You're like, hey, I don't have a wife, but you can see me in Delaware this weekend.
Where do we go from
Oh,
here?
yeah, how do we? I'm sorry. Yeah, that's.
Well, we were talking about making up jokes, and that can lead us right into. Did you hear about Hasan Minhaj?
Oh yeah.
Or whatever the fuck is.
Yeah,
That was
that's
a
his
great
name.
segue. Yeah.
Hasan Minhaj.
What can I
Hasan
say?
Minhaj.
I'm learning.
I need to pay attention because I have not.
Did I have you? Okay.
You've not heard
Oh
anything.
yeah. Okay. So the Hasan
Like-
Minhaj situation. Do you know about it at all?
No.
Okay, so what happened was he had been telling lies in his like premises of his stories. So he lied about I guess, or exaggerations, and it was like he made up like that his daughter had an anthrax scare, and he made up a few other things that were like core parts of these stories that he was telling, and he was relating them to like, but that's living in America, isn't it? People are mean to people like me. And it's like, but the premise of the story was entirely made up. I don't know how I feel about it.
Okay, so it was all one story, because I heard he like made up an illness for his daughter or something.
It was like an anthrax related thing. Yeah. And then there was something, he like dragged an ex and he didn't name her, but he gave just enough like referenceable facts that people like looked her up and was like harassing her. And she was like, I didn't even do the thing in the story that he said I did.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks here that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, so this is just from in a New Yorker article, but this is pulled over into another. Sorry, I'm just making sure this is in Culture and SF Gate, just to let people know. But yeah, get onto the YouTube, you can see what we're seeing. But according to the New York article by Claire Malone, published last week, Hasan himself doesn't appear to have had chicken biryani. I don't even know what that's referring to, but it's again, they're finding things in his stories, and also the anecdote later in the special about his daughter opening a threatening letter filled with white powder and being rushed to the hospital also appears to be fabricated.
Didn't happen.
Oops, a daisies.
I don't know. At first I heard this and I was like, well, who cares? We lie all the time, right? Like we tell lies to facilitate our stories. And then the more I read, when I like actually dug into the story and read about it, I was like, oh no, it is kind of gross, because like the way that he's lying is not in service to a joke, it's in service to a moralistic point. And that's where I draw the line.
It cheapens it, right?
Yeah.
It like cheapens the moralistic point.
A joke is meaningless. Like I want to have like points to my jokes, but if you don't absorb the point of my joke and you still laugh, I don't care. That's a success. I don't, you don't need to go away being like, wow, that guy really, burned this society thing. No, I don't give a shit. Just laugh. But like when he's doing it, it's kind of like, that's where I change my tone, is when his thing was like, but that's America, isn't it? Fucking making it tough for guys like Hasan Minhaj. And it's like, well, don't you have real examples of that? Like, why would you have to make that up? And if you make that up, then I start to get a little upset when you go, this made up story, that's just like this fucking shit country, isn't it? And it's like, well, no, because you made that one up. Like, there's plenty of real things you could have pointed to if that was your premise. I don't know. And that was stupid. But, at the same time, I'm a little like, you can't make a rule about it, because if we can't lie, then in a way, then we can't really get a lot of the things that we need to shorten stories and to condense things into a digestible thing. But yeah, don't be going to lying about, I think lying about having an anthrax scare is up there with lying about having cancer. Maybe not as bad, but like it's in that venue. It's in that neighborhood.
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with all the lying? You're fine with every lie that you can tell on stage?
Exactly.
Okay.
If you're going to have a kid, fucking use it as a prop. That's all.
I guess there's no difference between that and just, my kid's sick, I can't come out, right? Oh, I'm sorry, my kid had anthrax.
Exactly.
I'm going to put it on my special.
It's a bigger venue. It's not a fucking, it's not a dinner party. It's a fucking Netflix special.
Yeah,
you got to fucking,
You're doing stadiums. She can't have a cold.
Exactly.
She has to open up a suspicious envelope. Yeah, all right, I understand.
Your Daily Show, you fucking make up the news.
You're a showman, Dave, first and foremost.
I love it, yeah. I've never watched his stand-up before.
No, he's not really my cup of tea. He's just he's a little too smarmy for me. The whole new Daily Show after Jon Stewart left, there were a few good correspondents. Like, I love Roy Wood Jr. He's one of my favorite comedians out there, but a lot of the whole Daily Show correspondents, I don't know.
I've only seen his getting coffee in cars with comedians, and he just fucking kept trying to bring the conversation back to basketball. It was really weird.
I forgot.
Like, Seinfeld kept trying to talk about comedy, and he kept, every time, he's like, it's like watching Michael Jordan play. I'm like, all right, dude, that's America, right?
Yeah. That's funny. So, Elyssa, what fake story are you going to tell to advance your career?
I'll probably just copy the anthrax one. Why
not? It worked for Hasan.
Poisoning. Oh, sorry. What?
It worked for Hasan.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just gonna say that I have it while I'm on stage.
You have anthrax on you? On your person?
No, that I'm experiencing anthrax.
Oh, okay. Performing. If you look under your seats, you'll all find an envelope.
laugh at my jokes or else.
Does Jeremy listen to this?
I don't think so.
Sometimes.
Maybe, perhaps.
Why,
But
do you trust him to? How do you get your hands on it? No, never mind. Let's not be that podcast.
we don't need to.
Like,
We'll
all right,
definitely get
here's-
flagged by YouTube. We are
Here's
in
a
no
step
way.
by step.
Are you about to ask?
YouTube.
How do you get
algorithm-
anthrax? these
YouTube
days?
algorithm. I'm saying it now. We said we wouldn't talk over each other this episode, but I must to say that we are not looking for anthrax or any plans to buy or make anthrax.
No big deal. Just
With our
calling
fri-
someone in Boston.
With our good friend, calling
Yeah.
someone in Boston, a city not known for bombings or any sort of terrorism or terrorist events. And so I feel like we just need to clarify for the FBI who's listening, we do not want to buy anthrax.
I'm
This
just
is-
not that well versed on anthrax. Is it something you grow from like and it grows in
It is-
certain regions of the world because that's why they have it and they are shipping it to us?
I believe it's a bean. It's like it's
If it's a bean.
an
anthrax
Maybe
bean?
that's ricin. I don't know, but there's a poison that's just a regular old bean that you can buy. Not that we're doing it.
Listen, you're smarter than the three of us combined.
That's
Thanks
true.
for throwing me in there.
Alyssa is an engineer, so also not just happier than your average comedian. She is also much more educated and experienced
So I'm
than your
saying,
average
yeah,
comedian.
she can exist in the normal world where you would not put most of us.
I mean, hypothetically, if I did have anthrax,
You would know how to get it for maximum dispersal, given that you're an engineer, perhaps. You have some great jokes about, speaking of which, quickly, not so quickly, changing the subject from the terrorism. You have a lot of funny jokes about being this like educated, like an educated woman in a field of work where you're constantly working with like construction workers and things like that. And that's so funny. Are you still doing that kind of work up there in Boston?
I'm unemployed, so
You're a
No,
true
but-
comic.
I have been interviewing with other construction companies.
That's cool.
Right on.
You probably
is-
have a
yeah.
joke shaping up right there. I imagine interviewing with construction companies is probably pretty funny.
Oh yeah, because they always focus on me being young and like, it's so neat that you have this experience and that you chose to pursue engineering.
Look at you with that big experience.
Yeah, right. Like, wow, look. Guys, come here. Look, she has experience.
Yeah, when you're being called little lady in an interview, it's
Yeah.
gotta be fucking. It would boil my blood.
It would. It would
you know
piss
what
me
I mean?
off so much.
All right, little guy, why don't you get on in here?
yeah, come here, buddy.
Like,
Come
look
here.
at
Yeah,
you. You're like,
happy
fuck
to-
off, dude.
Come on, bro.
Did the boys clubness of construction make it like a good transition into the boys club of comedy? Is it similar there? Or?
Well, I guess I did comedy first, so I was
So we
kind of used to it.
You were desensitized by the time you showed up on the job site.
Yeah, if anything, she's like, these guys talk about their dicks way less.
wait, which ones?
Yeah, you know
I
what?
was impressed.
Yeah, way less depressed. They've got money and jobs and wives and stuff. And
Oh man.
Which group is easier to be around?
Good question.
Comics.
Yeah. Okay. Because we're drunk usually. Does that make it better?
I mean, because you can't like necessarily tell when someone like doesn't like you. But like if you like work with like construction dudes, like immediately that they hate you.
Oh yeah. I hate working with unions. I support the idea of a union, but I've fucking hated every single union member I've ever worked with. They're the
wait a
worst.
second.
They're just the worst. They're just the worst. No, I can say
No,
every
I don't
single
mean
one.
that, but I
Get
don't know
back
if
to
that's
work, you fucking writers.
I just like one time I had a union guy stick his hand right in my face, and like I was trying to take my glove off, and I went to kind of like shake his hand because it was in my face, and he was like, it's super rude to shake with a glove on. It's like, you motherfucker. Like they try to like, and this was in New York, by the way, so that might be, I just hate New Yorkers, but like, yeah, union guys, they're just so rude. I don't know. I find maybe they're nicer to you because you're a woman or you're an engineer, so you maybe there's authority or status there. But when I was just like a laborer, like and working with union guys, it sucked. Like I did not like them.
I mean, they're still like bullies. They're just it's like more condescending.
Yeah, I imagine. But are you kind of like used, I mean, in a way, like used to that because you kind of harness that as like a superpower when you're doing comedy, right? Like you kind of know how to work with that, and you have like a confidence that is like greater than what it might seem when somebody's just looking at you or speaking to you for the first time. Do you ever like use that to your advantage? Like these guys are like condescending and you're sitting there like behind your eyes, like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. Like, I just destroyed at Helium the other night. Then you would like piss your pants if you were up there, you know, or something like that.
I mean, mostly I just like doubt myself and then just like let them bully me. But I'd like to think that someday I won't.
Well, again, you're a true comic. As much
that-
as you think this makes us stronger, we're actually still very weak and delicate inside.
Is this like a one hand washing the other? Is like comedy?
We're done with
like,
the Lauren Boebert thing. What do you?
Hey,
We're done with that. We're moving on.
now her hands were good distance apart. Yeah, they fucking dude's packing. But no, I meant like it was like, was the comedy like a confidence building exercise, or does one hand wash the other? Basically, like does one make you better at the other, or are they pretty not connected?
I think engineering makes you better at comedy because like you are like pushed to like the brink of mental exhaustion, and I feel like that's when my best jokes come out, when like my brain's like non-functioning.
I get
Kind of
that.
trick it into like working weird, working differently, and like saying something funny.
Yeah.
It's like how all the best stuff comes out at like 4 a.m. when you can't fall asleep. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All my best news jokes, they are the ones that I write, you know, with like 2 hours before I have to come here. Guaranteed. Even if I try like tonight to write for next week, they'll be okay. It'll be the ones that I write next Tuesday afternoon or evening that are the bangers.
Well, it with me, it's like the longer I have to think about it, the more I hate it. So if I'm like, oh, fuck it, like if tomorrow, hell yeah, I already got fucking 5 jokes for next week, I will hate 4 of them
Yeah.
right before the show starts. You'll see it.
Yeah. You'll all see us hating our jokes as you do every week. Speaking of jokes, so you said you haven't really been doing a lot of comedy while you're up there, being that you're so recently moved.
Well, I guess like I was going to a lot of mics and then like some of them shut down, but I went through like a period where I wrote like 3 jokes, which is like huge for me because I feel like I write a joke like once a month. And then,
That's
like,
still a pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty
yeah.
good clip. I think once a month. If the joke works and you're doing about 1 a month, that's still pretty good.
Your average joke goes for about like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
like 30 seconds.
Oh.
It's like so depressing because I'll be like, I have like 25 jokes, and then I'm like, well, I could do 12 minutes of comedy now. Thanks.
Yeah, it's the curse of the one-liner comic. I mean, you're not really a one-liner comic, but yeah, you're with short jokes, you have to write so many more to fill up the same amount of time that bloviators like Dave and I can just stretch a joke that should be 30 seconds into 5 minutes if we need to.
Bloviator, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you like that one? It's not a physical compliment or a comment. You look very good, Dave. But it's a what is it?
I
Hot air.
disagree.
Yo,
I feel
well,
like
yeah.
I noticed some serious hot dog neck earlier today.
Oh, really? You had a hot dog neck?
Getting a little bit. You know hot dog neck.
Yeah, it's bulging out. I mean,
a little layered on the back.
I got like the 8-pack of Hebrew Nationals back here, so
That's appropriation.
it's the best hot dog. It's not has nothing to do with the tribe. It's just you guys make a great hot dog when you're betraying your
Because
faith.
nobody knows what's in a hot dog, and we're the most secretive people. That's why.
I totally forgot you were Jewish. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, if you watch the show, I will never let him forget.
Never forget.
I mean, I didn't forget.
We usually yell choice words at him right before we start, right? It's usually
We have a
something
nice
we
little
like to
chant
do.
that we do before we
Yeah.
start rolling, but we can't do it right now.
No, it's unfortunate.
I can. They call me a kike.
No, what? Come on,
not
Dan,
me.
right? Come
No.
on, what?
What?
Never.
No, but we could if we wanted to because you're here by your association with us, right?
Is that how? Wait, I'm usually the one that tries to find a loophole to use racial slurs. That's not. Oh, if you're friends with one,
I thought we
I'm
agreed.
yeah, I'm
I thought
a
we agreed
massive.
our proximity means I can make the Jewish jokes and you can make the fat jokes, and there's no shame involved because it's like it's what we give each other as
But I'm fat on.
podcast duos on the inside.
Actually, both my parents are kind of skinny. So like, I'm fat on my mom's side.
Can we
the-
talk like self-deprecation?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a decent topic. We all have self-deprecation jokes.
Sure. Yeah, we
Right.
do actually. We all hate ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, Alyssa, you are really, really good at self-deprecation. It's very hard to do because a lot of times you get self-deprecating and people, the audience, you stop doing stand-up comedy and you start doing stand-up sympathy. And people go, oh, and you can only have so much of that before your set completely falls apart as like a vehicle for comedy. You walk a good line of that where like you get people like so on your side, like, and your character, your voice on stage is like, it's so sweet and endearing that then you get people so on your side that you would then hit them like later in your act with some darker jokes or some like, no, I wouldn't say edgy, but like things that are a little more punchy and like more like about things going on in the room. Like you lull them in, like I was raised by my grandparents, and then you hit them with this like incisive dating stuff. Do you find that the self-deprecation helps you?
I think so because I feel like a lot of like women don't really fit into what like the stereotypical like female comic I hate men or like I'm like the greatest or whatever, and like a lot of people are just like I'm really the worst human being. And I want someone to like also feel that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys male comics, that is, and some female comics too, they kind of will do that, but they'll do it from a very like place of like overconfidence, like cockiness, almost like to undermine it, like, oh, I know I'm not shit, but I'm up here and I'm gonna be like bah. And what I really like about your comedy is that you are you on stage. You get up and you're just like, if you're hating yourself, especially like if you're like, we'll talk before sets and stuff at open mics, if you're really having like a shitty day and you're not feeling positive about your comedy, you get up there and you're just like, yeah, I hate myself today. And like somehow it's just everyone's like, you can get a laugh just from saying that. Like, I think that that's something that you do that a lot of that.
Yeah.
I really don't see many comics have that superpower. So
I think your timidness kind of plays into it well.
Yeah.
Because your paper stats do make you better than the rest of us, especially in an open mic room. You have
Yes.
a better job. You're in Boston, an affluent city. You're
right,
in a
happy
healthy
relationship. Yeah, smart. Like, yeah.
So you are better than us, but you do make us believe you hate yourself, and that's why we're all able to enjoy you.
Yeah.
It's like we're explaining Elyssa Penson.
Deep dive.
Yeah. Figure it out. Figure out how you go to a place like Bar 13, which is a bar that we've talked about many times on this program. We had Fenris on last week, and we were kind of talking about how dark and edgy and kind of like sometimes like halfway between like a comedy show and like a rock concert that place could be. And you would go up there after people were just saying the worst shit, like Otis Timlins and the Luke Kincaids of the world would just be doing the edgiest kind of like darkest comedy, funny but dark, and then you would come up and be talking about being like raised by your grandmother or like trying to date like in the modern age, which is like not what that bar really is primed to laugh at, but you would still end up getting laughs, which is just super cool. I think anyone that can walk into a lion's den and not like have a whip in a chair and still tame the lions, I'm always impressed by. Do you find? I'll turn this into a question. I'll try to turn this into a question instead of trying to figure out why.
Do the most impressive lion tamers do it without the whip? Like, just I fucking got this.
Like Siegfried and Roy, they never had a whip in a chair or anything.
Yeah, and then there was a tiger first of all, and they got fucking mauled.
Oh, wow, yeah. Only one of them got mauled. So you know.
Because he used the other guy for as a shield.
The other guy had the whip in the chair.
No, he had the guy. He had Roy. Here, get him. We'll both run at the same time.
Oh man. Well,
sorry.
You
had a question. I feel like, and I kind of just I tangented there, and I apologize.
I mean, I forget, but I was going to say earlier that I think that you, Dan, are very good at like telling like longer, engaging stories, and I wish that I could do that.
Thanks.
And Dave, I think you're very good at like telling jokes about more like current events and like writing new material like frequently.
That's nice. I mean, on stage, I haven't done new material in like 2 years, but yeah,
Really?
the news jokes. No, yeah. A paid show, I'm still like, oh, let's break out the hits from 2006.
You still try stuff at open mics, though. You just never like, you don't mint a lot of things into your act.
I don't commit to anything.
You have a very high standard as to what gets into your act.
I'm thinking about like stuff that you would do at Bar 13.
Yeah.
But I definitely saw you do like older stuff at Soul Joel's like ages ago.
It must have been ages ago if you saw him at Soul Joel's.
That's true, yeah. Joel don't like me too much anymore.
In ages.
But thank you for the compliment. Yeah.
So do you find like being around like open mics where comics like us are kind of trained to like survive, like, you know, it's brawler kind of loud, boisterous comics. Do you find like now being in Boston, does that give you any edge? Does it give you any like attitude? Like if these guys are like, hey, I'm walking here. That's not the right city, but you know, whatever they say in Boston, can you be like, yo, fuck you, buddy? Because you had to do it at Bar 13 so many times.
I mean, I feel like nothing here is as like intimidating as like stuff that I've seen like doing comedy like in Pennsylvania. Like I've had people straight up like ignore me, like insult me, like walk out, like crazy shit. And
like walk out during your set?
Oh, I was doing a show for Sarah Cartwright like on my birthday, and it was like in this like antique place, and they started singing happy birthday to me at the end of the show, and I bombed so badly that everyone in the audience just left.
Oh no.
Oh. Yes. Hey, but that builds character.
Yeah.
Now I love when I walk people.
Yeah.
I just stopped in the middle of the joke. I get it. I'm not for everyone.
It still hurts a little. I don't really care, but like when you walk people, I intended to walk. A family showed up to a late show that I did recently, and the headliner and the feature were like, well, you know, this is what happens. It's 9:30 show. They know what they're getting into. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do the headliner and feature service and kind of do some dark stuff and let these kids know what they're in for. And I did some like edgier jokes, and right at my set, they walked, and I was like, I intended to walk them. Like, that's why I did it. But while they were walking, I was like, oh, like, why was I knew what I was doing. But walking people for me is just that. It hurts. It's hard to do. So that's ultimate confidence right there. If you can walk out, if you can have people walk out and be like, whatever, they're singing happy birthday to me now.
I think it's a good thing. It's called finding your audience, not just an audience. Because when you find your audience, that means, go on.
That was the entire audience of that show.
The person that you walked, yeah. I've been there.
But there's a chance that all those people just suck as people, right?
Right.
I mean, 90% of people suck, so there's going to be some crowds where it's 100% of the people, and then maybe there's another one where only 80% of the people suck. It all evens out in the wash.
I'm on the crowd side on this one. I think Elyssa, when she was like, I bombed.
Yeah.
Then the crowd walked. I go like, all right,
that makes sense. Yeah, it could just be that you weren't very good that night. That happens to everyone
it's
too.
It's an attempt.
Stand up 101. Learn to blame the audience.
Yeah,
The show was like over, but it wasn't over.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But do you feel like that Philly? I think we're confirming it. Philly is the harder spot to do comedy anymore. Like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is just. I mean, it's not the first time we've heard this. People will come here to start here on purpose now. It feels like because it's harder, or at least when you hear it from other places. Have you heard any of the comics in Boston tell you that? Because I've definitely heard comics that I've run into in other cities say that, like that it's harder to do comedy in Philly specifically.
Well, I feel like a lot of them don't know what it's like to do comedy outside of Boston and New York
Yeah.
unless
okay.
they travel. So most people think of like Pennsylvania and they think, oh, like nothing happens there. And then they think about like, you know, there must be nothing going on in Pittsburgh. There must not be that much more going on in Philly because New York's right there. So Philly must be really small.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that about Boston too. That Boston's really like inward facing is a scene.
Sure.
Neil, I'm sure you've heard this as well.
Yeah,
where it's like they kind of are. All the Boston comics are kind of focused on what's going on in Boston and not so much any other city. And that's why, like, even here, we're not that far from Boston, but we don't really get a lot of Boston comics coming down because they don't. If they're going anywhere, it's New York, and then that's it. But that makes it kind of interesting to me because I don't see a lot of comics make it out of Boston. I mean, maybe they all moved to New York and I just don't spend much time there. But like out on the West Coast, not a whole lot of people from Boston, a few, but like, yeah, a lot of,
They can't handle the sun.
yeah, that might be.
Boston's where vampires come from. American origin.
Boston is one of those cities, though, where if anyone from Boston or Philly or New York, Baltimore, if they move to the West Coast, specifically Southern California, they can work at half speed and be everyone else's 100%. Like the hustle that we just have just to live, and like what's trained into us is like what is an adequate amount of work and like an adequate pace to work at. If we go out to Southern California, it's like they work at half speed. So you working at half speed is their 100%. It's very easy.
Because they're so fucking chill over
That's basically what it is.
Fuck Californians.
Yeah.
Except my cousin. But yeah.
This has been a lot of fun, guys, but we had to go over into the news.
Oh, okay.
Alyssa, you hanging out for the news?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, we're going to do a graphic.
You're talking news. You're talking news. Talking news. We're here to shoot the shit and talk the news. We sure are.
Hell yeah.
Hey. Okay. So this segment is the news. Alyssa, if you've never seen the podcast, or for those of you that are listening for the first time, I will explain briefly. Dave and I have written 15 jokes about news stories that have happened this week. We will be reading them one after another, alternating. If Dave and I do a joke on the same news story, we call that a joke off. Roll.
Joke off.
And that'll mean Dave and I are joking each other off. And when Dave and I are joking each other off, that means that, Alyssa, you decide which joke you like best, and then that's the winner of of that joke off.
Yes.
So please.
We like to see our joke offs to completion. You hear that, theater in Colorado?
That's right. You'll never catch us joking off into the back of a Beetlejuice musical. We do it on camera, under the lights for you, ladies and gentlemen. Dave, would you like to kick us off as is traditional?
I certainly would. A popular nasal decongestant doesn't actually relieve congestion, FDA advisors say. They became alerted to this after multiple people complained to them. Do you have any idea how annoying it is to do meth when you can't breathe out of your nose?
Yeah, it was good. Hunter Biden indicted on federal gun charges, marking the greatest crime committed by the child of a president since Jenna Bush did 9/11.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Remember Jenna Bush did 9/11?
I was up close.
They don't teach it. They don't teach it in schools anymore, but I was there.
Me and Hasan Minhaj were right there. Right?
And Steve Renazizi was there as well, I believe.
Venice may be put on the endangered list thanks to human-created climate change. Fortunately, none of the citizens are at drowning risk, as most Italians contain enough oil that they'll just float right up to the top.
Hey,
Hey,
that.
I'm walking here.
Oh, I'm full with the old olive oil.
My uncle was made of olive oil. Oh, all right. I don't know why I was like Dice Man there for a second. Okay. Footage shows Lauren Boebert and her date fiddling with each other's privates at Beetlejuice musical. Representative Boebert defended her actions, saying she only intended to turn on the juice and see what shakes loose, babe.
Woo!
It's Beetlejuice. It's a line. It's a line from the
I am going to
movie
reference that a lot, but
Beetlejuice.
there is no joke off.
There's no joke. That's fine.
Oh,
Okay. I love it when you guys joke off, though.
I know. We came close to a joke off,
That's
but
true.
we're just joking each other off right now.
similar finishes, different starts. Senator Mitt Romney says he won't run for a second term. He said that some things in life are meant to be done just once, and that now he looks forward to having extra time to spend with his 8 wives.
Yes, that was good. That's a clip. That's gonna get us some hate.
Well, actually, he only has 6 wives. Maybe do some research before you try to joke.
Dude, even Dave's face. Like, Dave can do a troll face, which I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
He's-
yeah.
He purses it up. It's all angry.
I'm just
and
an
mad.
offline troll, baby. Offline troll, maybe.
Yeah, offline troll baby.
Got it.
All right, here we go. This one might get us some hate too. Senator John Fetterman says he'll never understand progressives who refuse to support Joe Biden, which is a new addition to the list of things Fetterman can't understand, along with dress codes and how to pet bunnies without killing them.
I dig it. All right. Whoa.
Sorry.
You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
good. Trying to get titles down.
A California city's landlords throw a party to celebrate being able to evict tenants again. It was a rare party that ended with the host shouting, "You don't have to stay here, but you can't go home."
That was good.
Eh, stupid.
Underage sex trafficking suspect Matt Gaetz widely expected to run for Florida governor. Though Gaetz has disputed this claim, saying he's only running for the mayor of Miami. Representative Gaetz said, "Come on, Florida, it's not serious. I just want to govern the tip."
Nice.
Thanks.
Parents say American Airlines flight attendant put hidden camera in bathroom to record daughter. American Airlines apologized, saying, "We try to thoroughly vet all of our flight attendants, and we're honestly shocked that we let a straight one through."
Stupid, but good. Chris Rock was humiliated, had to go to counseling with his daughters after Will Smith Oscar slap. Apparently, Chris tried to bring his father to therapy as well, but parents just don't understand. You see,
That's a
Elyssa,
dated reference,
that was a Will Smith rap from probably before you were born. Parents just don't understand.
How I could just kill
Clever.
a man. Yeah.
I don't know how I'm supposed to respond during this. I'm just like,
You're doing fine. You're responding exactly
Yeah,
as
if
the
you-
audience usually does, passively watching and wondering what's happening.
Yeah, if you want to comment on any of these stories, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, if you got any hot
Yeah.
riffs, just
Yeah.
jump on in.
Riff away. Here's one of those ones that I on Thursday thought was so clever and hate it right now. In an effort to make rides safer, Lyft launches Women Plus Connect. Their goal is to give women a way to stay away from creepy men, which is perfect because women are always looking for a lift and separate situation.
Nice little broad joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And this is a joke off. We have a joke off.
Oh,
Go ahead
shit.
and
We
play
got
the-
joke.
Joke off.
In a row, you do this to my worst joke.
That's okay. I'm not super proud of this joke either, but I feel like we have gone a few weeks without one of
The
these. so I
numbers
needed
as
to-
of right now are all tied up. I think we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lyft's new feature lets women and non-binary riders request their driver's gender. No word yet from Lyft on when they will take Dave Premiano's suggestion to allow him to request drivers by race.
I think you got him.
Boom. Boom
Alyssa,
roasted.
Yeah, Alyssa, what do you think? You gonna go with Dan or Dave?
Dan.
Yeah, I go with
I called you racist, and I got the point. That's exactly how it works. That's how you do it. Perfect form.
Yes. I fucking.
Sorry, Dave.
I should move it around and do my racist joke next. No, okay, I'll go in order. Chick-fil-A expanding across the pond to the UK in 2025. For those wondering if they plan to remain socially conscious over there, it is expected that they're going to lobby pretty hard against cigarettes in England.
I see what you're doing. You gotta
Little-
let the
that's
audience do a little bit
thinker,
of the work.
yeah.
There.
Alyssa, do you ever eat Chick-fil-A at all?
Not really.
No. Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's good.
Good. Religious
Thank you
purposes
for-
or just diet purposes?
Diet purposes.
Nice.
That makes sense. It's not good for you, and it's bad for your soul. Bear. Okay. Bear in a tree at Magic Kingdom closes more than 10 Walt Disney World rides in more culture war protests, though it was unclear if this specific bear was supporting country music or jamboree.
Nice.
Tuck my weak one right there in the middle.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I wasn't going to use that one. All right. Man accused of carrying loaded weapon at RFK Jr. campaign event. But on the other hand, guns have become so synonymous with Kennedy rallies that he may have just wanted RFK to sign his.
Stupid stuff. I like it. Martin Scorsese rewrote Flower Moon because, quote, I was making a movie about all white guys and it concerned me. He went on to say, I mean, it's not like this is a movie about Jesus. You see, Alyssa, he made a movie called The Last Temptation of Christ, which was all white guys, even though they were all brown guys in the real story.
But it also was made before we were born, too, I think.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a great
Yeah.
reference, but, you know, it. Listen, the original Martin Scorsese joke that I wrote about that was worse, so that was the improved version.
Alyssa, I guess just stop us when you know a reference that we're...
There you go.
'Cause
Yeah,
we're-
let's just do that. When you know one reference that the two old men that are on camera are making,
Because-
you just shout it out.
Because Dave's reaction to Mac Miller was precious. It was delightful. When you dropped Mac Miller on here to watch Dave fucking scramble was the best.
I'm
I
proud
got
of
the Country Bears reference.
Yeah, thanks. Well, unfortunately, there wasn't much of a joke to go with that reference, but thank you.
Here's another reference to something either before or around the time you were born. Hasan Minhaj admits to making up disturbing stories in his stand-up. It's a rare case of an Indian guy staging something and then blaming it on white people, or as they call it, pulling the old 11-9.
Oh man, I'm glad my Hasan Minhaj joke was the one that got replaced by that bear one. So I'm glad I don't have a joke off for you because my Hasan joke sucked. Neil, will you please go ahead and pull up that image?
Yes, I have it ready for you. Let's see. Do we want to do this? What's this? No, that's not going to work.
We're gonna
Let's
try
do,
We're gonna try an image prompt here.
Yeah.
Just click on that. There we go.
Oof.
There we go.
Yeah, it's important for the news story. Upset with non-tipping customers, pizza delivery driver squirts her vaginal juices all over their pizzas, which was slightly less disappointing than the original order of Hawaiian. Okay.
Oh, man.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep that up, please.
Keep it
Neil.
up. Got it.
You can
It's
keep
not
the
like on
picture
the
up
screen,
'cause
but yeah.
Keep it up and ready.
I have a story about a Florida woman who probably looks very similar to that one. Florida woman arrested after leaving son 11 in hotel room with dead man following a menage a trois with two men. Police got wind of it because people kept complaining about a weird smell coming out of the room, and then later they found out there was a kid in another room too.
Stupid. All right, will you pull that up again, please?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Thank you. Upset with non-tipping customers, pizza delivery driver squirts her vaginal juices all over their pizzas, officially unveiling the exciting new dinner special from Pizza Cunt.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Language.
Keep that. Don't close that window.
I'm not. I'm leaving it open. I'm leaving it open.
Episode title: Pizza Cunt.
Yeah, that'll fly.
YouTube will have no problem.
Yeah, I'm sure Elyssa would like that. I'm sure Alyssa's over there
That's
like,
what you want. Yeah.
The episode I'm on will then have the title Pizza Cunt.
We have to tag you. Yeah.
She'll be in job interviews. The guy will be like, "Okay, now we Googled you, and we did find this one thing."
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, pizza gun, you know.
Yeah.
Better than wine.
With that accent, yeah, he loves that.
I'm so sorry. Dave, you're up, right?
I am. Trump to Republicans. Abortion bans with no exceptions are a losing strategy. He said that there are specific circumstances that need to be compromised on, like if the pregnancy threatens the woman's life or if I knock up another side piece.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's policy and facts.
It's
It
true.
feels like
it's true.
Facts.
facts.
If you once that you impregnate that cubist, that cubist painter.
I was first personing it from Trump.
And we're going one more time.
Let's
We're
get it
dipping
one more
right
time.
back in.
And
yeah.
don't close it when I'm done.
Well, I got you. I'm going to go over here on the side like that.
Upset with non-tipping customers, pizza delivery driver squirts her vaginal juices all over their pizzas, delighting everyone who loves the taste of anchovies but hates the texture.
Oh, man.
These are going to get worse. Keep it up.
I got you.
Oh, how many more do you have for this
Oh,
story?
I'm going to leave it. It's a mystery.
closing it?
Could
Okay.
could it be 10 more? I don't know.
Oh, listen, here's what I like to have fun with.
He's
right?
joking himself off.
He's joking himself off. What's fun about this is, from the writer point of view, you have to remember, he was at just one point sitting in a room someplace.
Oh, not a room, Neil. I was out. I wrote the last two of these that you're about to hear in a public cafe, and I had my head in my hands, and a woman came up to me as I was running the joke to myself quietly, like out loud, and she was like, "Hey, baby, are you okay? Is everything all right?" And I had to look up and be like, "Well, I am literally saying over and over again, vaginal juices."
Vaginal juices, squirts. What does that mean?
I wonder how many porn breaks you took in between these jokes.
What rhymes with that? Like,
Just a couple pizza breaks, Dave. Just a couple pizza
Yeah,
breaks.
you got hornier about the pizza?
oh boy. All right. Dave, you're up.
Here's another word. This doesn't have any fun secretions. Let's see.
Fun secretions. That's
There
the
we
title.
go. Authorities request public's help in desperate search for missing fighter jet. Unfortunately, they're not receiving any help, as most people have just assumed that I seem to have misplaced my fighter jet is just a really bad pickup line. Yeah,
I like it.
sometimes you just got to fill out the.
You got to get it to
yeah.
15. Listen, this was a slow news week, and I don't know if our audience will appreciate that. We're getting some gems out of this tight week. Can I get that graphic?
Of course, of course.
Upset with non-tipping customers, pizza delivery driver squirts her vaginal juices all over her pizzas. But what else can you expect when you order from Clittle Caesars?
Okay.
Clittle Caesars.
Probably could have paired two of those up, right?
Yeah, I could have, but listen, it was a slow news week.
All right. Fair.
Are you claiming filler on this? Are you guys claiming filler? can't
I would
believe it.
never fill a joke about vaginal juices.
Oh no, of course not.
All right. Senate to no longer enforce dress code for senators. In fact, they're even thinking of adding a new Easy Access Friday now that they know these political girls have wandering hands.
Yeah, that's good. That could be a clip right there. I think I like.
It'll
that
get
one.
people talking.
It'll get. It's provocative. It sure is provocative.
Everyone's coming in in light brown sweatpants. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Oh hell yeah. Neil, go ahead and get that
course.
graphic back up
let's
for
go.
me, please. Thank you. Upset with non-tipping customers, pizza delivery driver squirts her vaginal juices all over their pizzas, which is just like Domino's to give you 2 greasy pies for the price of one. You know, Dave? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
Thank you.
That's probably the best one. Of
Yeah,
them.
well, that's why it went
Oh,
last, and that is it. I am done. You can close. I wish I tried desperately to write 10 more of those, but it was diminishing returns after the first one.
All right. I'll pair this one with my last one. Representative Lauren Boebert breaks it off with Democratic Beetlejuice date. Although that was always a risk that was of happening when you aggressively use both hands like that. Okay.
That was a fun one.
Yeah,
That was like
you
it was like you stumbled over a hurdle and
I'm
then
sorry.
caught yourself real quick. I'm
Yeah.
still good.
To the audio listeners, I'm sorry I ate a spoonful of peanut butter in the middle of that joke.
Okay. That wasn't your last one, right?
No.
You have one more? Okay. I thought so. All right. Financially struggling rural Pennsylvania hospital creates GoFundMe page with $1.5 million goal. And the best part about this story are the GoFundMe perks, Dave. For a $100 donation, you get Percocets. For $500, you get to do donuts in an ambulance in the parking lot. And for $1,000, for a $1,000 donation, Dave, you actually get to pull the plug on someone who has no family.
Oh,
So just consider donating.
you had my attention. Now you have my interest. You were alive for that one.
That was a Django,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's like, the only
like,
reference you made to something that was made in my lifetime was a slave movie. Thank you, Dave.
Exactly. All right. There's a relatable one. Video allegedly shows teen driver intentionally hitting and killing bicyclist. And the video is so horrific that it automatically discredits the "come on, we've all thought about doing it" defense. Every day. Every day.
All right. And my final one. Planned Parenthood resumes offering abortions in Wisconsin after more than a year, though they were not allowed to resume selling alcohol, which is a shame. It was a great special. A pitcher of beer, and that baby's out of here.
Nice. Going with a lot of rhymes this week.
Yeah.
We got Dan's poetic side this week.
Yeah. I didn't realize we were going to be talking about poetry, so I wrote a little,
It's true. All right. Elyssa, what do you got coming up? Where can people see you?
Shows, anything like that?
Well, I guess I'll be at Comedy Cabaret on Friday.
Okay.
As long as you're excited about it.
No, I am. I'm thrilled to be competing in another comic competition.
Well, if you maxed out at Phil, you're going to wipe the floor with these people.
Yeah, 100%. No question about it. That's on Friday. That's this Friday?
Yeah, it's the champions of the new comic competition.
Oh, hell yeah. You're going to be the champion of champions, like Jeopardy.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Michael Beavers is in it too, so
Another finalist, another Philly's Funniest finalist. Well, listen, that's tough competition, but I got you. I'm going to bet on you to win this one, so don't disappoint.
Until we have him on the show, you're the only friend of the show in that
That's
competition.
true. Although we should get Michael Beavers on, but we are going to
Let's not
100%. No, I obviously did that for the bit because it was funny. We are rooting for you 100% in that competition. Anything else you got going on? Or we did put your graphic up, Neil, so people can find you and see your comedy.
Yeah, you
out there?
can find Elyssa
Very cool.
at, here, I'll just read. Elyssa_Penson. That's ELYSSA_PENSON on IG.
There we go.
Sweet.
And Dave, do you have anything coming up?
Now, this week I am dedicating to finding the Snyder cut of the Lauren Boebert video. So I'm
The
going to
4-hour version?
Yeah, the Bloodhound is coming out. I'm going to find that fucking.
The Bloodhound is coming out, and you're going to find the movie where the Bloodhound comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Good luck. Busy week for me. We've got this Thursday, the 21st at 7:30 p.m. We have the animated comedy show with Animated Brewing. That's my show. We have a lot of really funny people. Sarah Cartwright, who you mentioned earlier on the show, Elyssa, she'll be on it. Jared McCallay will be coming in for a guest spot. Kyle Ziegler, and our headliner, DropTent royalty, if you will, Jay Yoder from the Seriously Dad podcast. He will be our headliner, a man nearly indistinguishable from me in many ways. Come and see us both. Get a big bear hug from both sides of us. Physically, yeah, we're very physically similar.
On paper, he's got everything over
No,
you.
100%. Well, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. I'm trying to hitch my star to his wagon. He's got a great career, a great family. We're just both fat, really, is what it is. But we will get both of you. If you want to come, Dave, we'll get you in a bear hug. We'll make a little Dave sandwich out of you.
I'm getting a free meal on Thursday.
Oh, well, that's good.
Jewiness outweighed comedy.
Yeah, we are in like the holiday season for you. And then on Sunday, you can see me at the at Phantom Power with Point of View Comedy. I will be performing with Sean Donnelly, Ray. Well, now my mind is escaping me because I haven't smoked enough weed, but it's a great show. Sean Donnelly's headlining. I will be hosting. That is Sunday at 7:00 p.m. Just follow me on Instagram. You'll see me promote the fuck out of all this stuff. Neil, do you have anything going on?
Sure, and don't forget you can check out the old Dan DePril, D-A-N-N-Y, Danny DePril.
There you go.
It's D-A-P-R-I-L-E, baby.
You don't
Get
secret. You don't even need to type the caps. You can just type it all in without the caps. But that is how you would spell my name.
Yeah.
No apostrophe.
Well, this is just for people that can see it, but yeah.
I like it. I like it. And yeah, that's where you can find me. Find me on IG. I
Boom.
post silly stuff.
He does.
What do you got going on?
You
Neil?
can check all the Drop 10 shows and my shows out over at DropTent.com. Go there for all my dates and details. Or you can actually go over to IamNeilWood.com for all my dates and details for other shows. And then everything Drop 10 has coming out. You can check us out this Friday at Myers Brewing Company. Tickets are filling up. Seats are filling up, and the tickets are going quick. So get those while you can. It's a small place, so yeah, just get them while you can. I think we only see like 25 people, so
you got to get in there.
Yeah,
It's a tight room, and it's a good room. I do have to do one quick shout out before we get out of here to my aunts Eileen and Jane. I love you guys very much. Thank you for newly watching the show. My lesbian aunts, as you might know from my act, my lesbian aunts. They are now fans of the show. They love our inappropriate
Are
comedy.
they listening on two separate computers?
I've told them they both need to subscribe. So they have subscribed. They did that before they even listened. God bless them.
Mazel tov.
Love you. Mazel. Happy Rosh Hashanah to those who celebrate. Thank you, Elyssa, for coming. This was awesome. Thank you so much for Skyping in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
Looking forward to seeing you when you get back into the area. Take it easy. Thank you so much for coming in, and God bless those poor fools that don't know what to expect at the Comedy Cabaret this Friday.
Yes.
Well, there we go. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh, man, that was a... we fucking landed that like Kerry Strug should have.
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of DropTent Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to DropTent.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see DropTent on. We appreciate it. Go to DropTent.com now.
This has been a DropTent Media production.